I'm Soledad O'Brien. Welcome to Matter of Fact. Republicans are spending November focused on tax reform, looking for a major legislative win. At the same time, internal party politics have them on the defensive, with high-profile Senate Republicans publicly criticizing President Trump. The far-right wing looking to replace current senators in the primary elections. For Democrats, the chaos could be good news as they focus on next year's federal and state elections, hoping to salvage the party's political future. Fueled by wins in the governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey, they're looking to flip other states from red to blue. The GOP has 26 governorships to defend in 2018. The Democrats have 9 governorships at stake. History might be on their side, as voters in midterm elections generally voice their frustration with the incumbent party at the ballot box. Martin O'Malley is the former governor of Maryland and ran for the Democratic nomination for president in 2016. He's been campaigning in 18 states to assist the efforts. It's nice to see you, Governor. Thanks
Good to see you again.
Thank you. You were in Iowa a lot, New Hampshire a lot. You just were in Virginia. What is the Democratic message for rural voters, for voters who were Obama voters who then became Trump voters?
Yeah, you know what I'm hearing from our candidates that are running in special elections and winning is that people voice the same frustration, disconnection, my leaders don't listen to me. And then I say to them, what do you talk about? And they say, number one, we never mentioned Donald Trump.
So those are Democrats who are not mentioning Donald Trump. But if you look at the infighting between the Hillary Clinton voters and the Bernie Sanders voters, those are groups that are very much mentioning Donald Trump all the time. That infighting, I don't get the sense that it's truly abated. Is that a problem?
Yeah, I don't think it is. You know what? All of that's in the past. What we have to do right now, as your introduction said, we have 36 governor's races and state legislatures that are up for election next year. So this is a huge opportunity for us as a nation to make a course correction. Good people sometimes make bad mistakes, but great nations correct them quickly. Just Tuesday in Oklahoma, a seat that Donald Trump won by 40 points, our candidate won by 44 votes. That's a huge swing. But it's not just there. It's all over the country.
So are you saying that the candidates in these local elections are basically doing it without the support or the blessing of the DNC? They just don't feel like they need the DNC? Well,
and really, they never have. I mean, when a man or woman decides to run for state or local office, it's not a matter of getting the okay from the DNC. You'll never get a thank you note from the DNC for that. So let's be honest. Our democracy is what we as a people make of it in those small places close to home. We have not done a good job as a party in recent years of recruiting candidates to do that, encouraging candidates to do that. That's how the Democratic Party is regenerating itself. It's not from a big check from Washington or a magic memo from Washington. It's more like the way a forest regenerates after a bad fire. There are these sprigs of green that are coming up all over the country, and it's the courageous men and women that are out there running for state and local office.
Should there be a litmus test for candidates? When that question was put to Tom Perez the first time around, back in April, he said every Democrat should support a woman's right to make her own choices about her body and health. This is not negotiable. And then within a week, he kind of, or at least a DNC aide, told The Hill that he had reversed himself, that there shouldn't be a litmus test, although what he spelled out very much sounded to me like a litmus test. And he never said that he doesn't support pro-life candidates.
I would agree with Nancy Pelosi when she says that we need to be a big tent party, that we need to be able to welcome people that may differ from us on one or two issues and still be able to be true as a group to what we stand for. I don't see any conflict in that. I believe that last year was a year when a lot of Americans just wanted a sledgehammer. They didn't care whether it came from the left, from the right, or across the table. They wanted to break the table and show protests that they didn't feel they were being heard or being served by their national leaders. Having done that, people have shifted, and they're now in a much more reflective mood about what it's going to take for us as a nation to be able to deliver for our kids like our parents delivered for us.
You sound like you're running for the presidency in 2020, sir.
Well, thank you. I accept your nomination.
If only it were that simple.
If only it were.
Governor O'Malley, nice to have you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.